My girlfriend texted me, "I sold your cat. Don't worry about it," while I was 1,000 miles away on a business trip. So I called the police and had her charged with theft before my plane even landed. I am Ethan, 30, and I have been a devoted cat dad to my orange tabby Whiskers for 4 years now. Found him as a tiny kitten under my apartment complex dumpster, barely alive. Nursed him back to health, and he has been my best buddy ever since. Anyone who knows me knows that Cat is basically my child. My girlfriend Crystal, 27, moved in about 6 months ago. She claimed she absolutely loved cats when we first started dating, always cooing over Whiskers and saying how sweet he was. I should have noticed that Whiskers seemed uncomfortable around her. He would hide when she came over and never warmed up to her like he did with my other friends. Cats are good judges of character, but I was too caught up in the relationship to pay attention. Last week, I had to fly out to Chicago for a 5-day sales conference. Crystal offered to watch Whiskers, said it would be good practice for us living together. I was actually excited about it, thought it would help them bond finally. Day 3 of the trip. I am sitting in a client presentation when my phone buzzes. "Crystal, I sold your cat. Don't worry about it anymore." I literally thought it was a joke at first. Had to excuse myself from the meeting because my hands started shaking. Called her immediately. "What do you mean you sold my cat?" "Oh, Whiskers was getting in my way, so I found him a good home. Some old lady on Craigslist paid me $200. You can get a new one when you get back." I have never felt rage like that in my life. "Where is my cat?" "You are being dramatic, Ethan. It is just an animal." The lady seemed nice enough. Just an animal. Just an animal. While waiting at the gate, I searched her phone remotely. We share locations and passwords, and found her Craigslist posting. "Orange tabby, friendly, needs new home due to owner traveling frequently." The lie was right there in writing. I screenshot everything. But here is where the story gets really interesting. I also found her text thread with her sister from 2 months ago. "I cannot stand that damn cat. Planning to get rid of it when E goes out of town next." This wasn't impulsive. This was premeditated. The buyer's contact info was right there in the messages. Mrs. Patricia, 70 years old, lived about an hour outside the city. I called her from the airport. "Oh yes, such a sweet cat. The young lady said you were severely allergic and heartbroken about giving him up for health reasons. Even in theft, Crystal had to make herself look good." Mrs. Patricia was incredibly understanding when I explained the real situation. I could tell something was wrong. That poor baby has been crying and hiding since he got here. He clearly misses his real family. She agreed to keep Whiskers safe until I got home. Wouldn't even consider keeping the money. "This is theft, dear. I don't want any part of it." Meanwhile, I had 5 hours on that plane to document everything and file a police report online. In our state, pets are considered property, and selling someone else's property without permission is theft. The Craigslist posting proved intent. The text messages proved premeditation. Landed at 11 p.m. and drove straight to Mrs. Patricia's house. Whiskers ran to me like I had been gone for months, purring and headbutting my face. Mrs. Patricia had tears in her eyes watching us reunite. That is real love right there. "I am so sorry this happened to you both." Drove home with Whiskers in his carrier. Absolutely furious, but trying to stay calm for his sake. Crystal was on the couch watching Netflix, like nothing happened. "Oh good. You got your precious cat back. Now maybe we can discuss getting a normal pet like a dog." I just stared at her. "Pack your stuff. You have 2 hours before the police get here." "Police? For what?" "Theft. I filed a report from the plane. You stole and sold my property. The screenshot of your Craigslist post and the buyer's testimony make this pretty cut and dried." That is when her attitude completely changed. Started crying, saying she was just trying to help. That Whiskers was causing problems in our relationship. Said she had been feeling ignored and jealous of a cat. Too little, too late. Officers arrived at 1 a.m., showed them all the evidence I had compiled. The text planning it, the Craigslist post, Mrs. Patricia's statement, even vet records proving ownership. They arrested Crystal for theft and animal cruelty. Yes, removing a pet from its home counts. She spent the night in jail, and I spent it cuddling my cat, who hasn't left my side since. Court date is next month, but her lawyer is already pushing for a plea deal. The evidence is overwhelming and the local news picked up the story. Apparently, woman sells boyfriend's cat on Craigslist, while he is away hit a nerve with a lot of people. Whiskers is doing better, but still jumpy. Taking him to the vet tomorrow to make sure the stress didn't cause any health issues. As for Crystal, she moved back in with her parents and blocked me on everything. Her friends have been reaching out to apologize and say they had no idea she was capable of something like this. I am just grateful Mrs. Patricia was such a good person. Could have ended much worse. Anyone else dealt with someone disposing of your pets? This whole experience has me questioning how well you can really know someone. Update 1. Holy shit, guys. Thanks for all the support. My phone's been going crazy since this post blew up. I don't include people, but apparently pet betrayal stories really strike a nerve. Quick update on how things have been going since Crystal got arrested. First off, Whiskers is doing much better. Took him to Dr. Martinez at the animal clinic yesterday, and she said he is showing classic signs of stress and displacement trauma, not eating regularly, hiding more than usual, and some digestive issues. She prescribed some medication and said it should resolve in a few weeks with consistent routine and extra attention. Bill came to $180, which I am adding to the restitution demand. The legal stuff is moving faster than I expected. Crystal's lawyer called my lawyer. Yeah, I got one trying to work out a plea deal. Apparently, the local animal rights groups caught wind of the story and are putting pressure on the DA's office to make an example of this case. The Humane Society even issued a statement about protecting pets from domestic disputes. Crystal's charges got upgraded too, originally just theft, but now they added animal cruelty and unlawful disposal of companion animal, which is apparently a specific law in our state that I didn't even know existed. Her potential fine jumped from $500 to $2,500 plus restitution. But here is where it gets weird. I found out through a mutual friend that Crystal's been telling people a completely different story. She is claiming I was neglecting Whiskers and she was rescuing him, said I never fed him properly, and left him alone too much. This pissed me off because anyone who knows me knows that is bullshit. I have a automatic feeder with timer, motion-activated water fountain, toys everywhere, and a cat sitter who checks on him when I travel. Hell, my vet has years of records showing regular checkups and premium food recommendations, so I decided to document everything. I spent the entire evening putting together a comprehensive folder that would prove Crystal was full of shit. First, I gathered 4 years of vet records showing Whiskers' excellent health and consistent care schedule. Then I took photos of my entire cat setup, automatic feeders, water fountains, multiple scratching posts, toy baskets, and his favorite sleeping spots. The place seriously looks like a cat palace. I reached out to friends who know how obsessed I am with Whiskers and got written testimonials about my devotion to him. My regular cat sitter provided a detailed statement about his care routine and how well maintained everything always is when she visits. Hell, I even pulled my Chewy order history showing years of premium food purchases, monthly toy deliveries, and expensive treats. My lawyer loved it, said Crystal's defense strategy just backfired spectacularly because now we can prove she was lying about her motivation. The really interesting part, found out she had been posting in some Facebook group about dealing with partners' annoying pets for months. Screenshots show her asking for advice on getting rid of cats without looking like the bad guy. Multiple people told her to just be honest about not liking cats, but she wanted to find a way to make me choose between her and Whiskers. One comment really got to me. If you make him choose, he might choose the cat. Better to just eliminate the competition. Eliminate the competition. My 4-year-old rescue cat was competition to her. Mrs. Patricia came by yesterday to check on us. Brought homemade cookies and some new toys for Whiskers. Turns out she is a retired veterinary technician and could tell immediately that Whiskers was well cared for and deeply bonded to his owner. She has offered to be a character witness if this goes to trial. That young lady lied to my face, she said. Told me you were heartbroken about allergies developing suddenly. I should have trusted my instincts when that cat kept crying for you. Mrs. Patricia also mentioned something interesting. Crystal had asked her about keeping this private and not contacting me directly. Made it clear she didn't want me to know where Whiskers ended up. That is going to help prove this was malicious, not some misguided attempt to help. Work has been supportive too. My boss actually gave me an extra day off when he heard what half the office are pet owners and they are all horrified. My coworker Jake offered to accidentally run into Crystal around town and tell her what everyone really thinks of her. The social media fallout has been intense. Somehow Crystal's full name got connected to the story, not from me, and she has been getting roasted in local Facebook groups, had to delete her Instagram and LinkedIn. Her work situation is apparently complicated now too. She is a marketing coordinator at a veterinary supply company, and her colleagues aren't thrilled about the irony. One thing that has been eating at me though, how many other red flags did I miss? Looking back, there were definitely signs I should have caught. She always changed the subject whenever I talked about Whiskers, like she couldn't stand hearing about him. Never once offered to help with litter box cleaning or feeding, even when she was staying over. She constantly made these jokes about cats being useless compared to dogs, but they felt mean-spirited even then. And she would get visibly annoyed whenever I had to cut dates short because Whiskers seemed sick or needed attention. I keep wondering if she was planning this from the beginning, or if it was just a gradual buildup of resentment. Either way, it showed me who she really was when she thought I couldn't stop her. The worst part is feeling like I failed to protect Whiskers. He trusted me to keep him safe, and I left him with someone who saw him as disposable. Court date is in 3 weeks. My lawyer thinks this will likely plead out, but Crystal's attorney is apparently pushing for counseling and community service instead of the full penalty. We are not budging. Actions have consequences. Whiskers is currently sprawled across my keyboard while I type this, purring like a motor. He has been extra clingy since I got back, follows me everywhere. Cannot say I mind, will update after court. This whole thing has been a nightmare, but seeing how many people actually give a shit about animal welfare has restored some faith in humanity. Also, for everyone asking, yes, I am definitely pressing charges. You don't get to steal someone's family member and face no consequences. Update 2 guys. I cannot even begin to describe the last 2 weeks. This case has blown up way beyond what I expected, and the karma has been swift and brutal. Court was yesterday. Crystal pled guilty to all charges rather than risk a trial. Judge sentenced her to 60 days in jail, suspended to weekends only, $2,500 fine, restitution for my vet bills and legal costs, and 200 hours of community service at the animal shelter. She also has to complete an empathy and responsible pet ownership course. But that is just the legal stuff. The real consequences started before we even got to court. Remember how I mentioned she works at a veterinary supply company? Yeah, past tense. She got fired 3 days after her arrest made the local news. Turns out, when you are in marketing for a company that literally exists to help animal welfare, getting arrested for selling someone's pet doesn't look great. Her boss told my lawyer they couldn't keep someone who fundamentally misunderstands the human-animal bond in a position representing their brand. Someone created a Crystal the cat thief meme that went semi-viral in our area. Local pet groups banned her from adoption events. The rescue I got Whiskers from actually sent me a message saying they had flagged her in their system as not suitable for adoption. Her dating life is apparently non-existent now. Her sister, who I am still friends with on social media, posted something vague about when your sister becomes undateable because she sold someone's cat. Turns out the pet owner community in our city is tight-knit and word travels fast. But here is the kicker. Crystal's now living with roommates who have 3 cats. Her sister mentioned she has been suffering from constant allergies and cannot use the common areas because of cat hair everywhere. The irony is thick enough to cut with a knife. Meanwhile, Whiskers is thriving. Dr. Martinez says he is back to his normal weight, and the stress symptoms are completely gone. He is actually more affectionate than before, like he is grateful to be home safe. Mrs. Patricia has become like an honorary grandmother to us. She stops by every weekend to bring Whiskers treats and check on us both. Last week, she brought photo albums showing her 40-year career working with animals. Turns out she is kind of a legend in the local vet community. I have seen every kind of animal abuse and neglect, she told me. But the calculated cruelty of what she did to you and Whiskers, that is a special kind of evil The best part, Mrs. Patricia's been telling this story to everyone at her senior center. And apparently several of them have reached out to offer fostering help if I ever need to travel again. I have got a whole network of cat-loving seniors ready to spoil Whiskers if needed. Work has been interesting too. My boss mentioned that several clients specifically requested to work with me after hearing about the situation. Apparently standing up for your principles resonates with people in business. One client even brought her own rescue cat to a meeting just to meet Whiskers. I was working from home that day. The support from complete strangers has been overwhelming. People have sent cat toys, treats, and donations to cover my legal costs. The local pet store gave me a year's worth of free premium cat food. I have tried to donate most of it to the animal shelter since Whiskers is just one cat. But everyone keeps saying they want to help. Dating is the last thing on my mind right now. But a few people have mentioned that devoted cat dad who fights for his pet is apparently very attractive. Who knew? The one thing that still bothers me is how Crystal never once apologized or showed any remorse. Even in court, she kept trying to minimize what she did. Her statement to the judge was basically, "I thought I was helping resolve a relationship issue." The judge was not impressed. "Madam, you stole and sold a living being that wasn't yours to dispose of. This wasn't a relationship issue. It was theft and cruelty." Crystal's lawyer tried to argue that she was emotionally distressed and not thinking clearly. But the prosecutor had those Facebook posts showing months of premeditation. Game over. The community service at the animal shelter is particularly fitting. She will be cleaning kennels and dealing with animal waste for 200 hours while surrounded by staff who know exactly what she did. Her supervisor there is apparently a former police K-9 handler who has zero tolerance for animal mistreatment. I have learned a lot about myself through this whole ordeal. Mainly that I have absolutely no tolerance for people who hurt innocent animals. And I am willing to fight hard for what matters to me. Some people think I went overboard pressing charges, but I don't care. Actions have consequences. Whiskers is currently sleeping on my chest while I type this, completely relaxed and content. That is all that matters to me. Final court appearance is next month for restitution hearing. My lawyer says Crystal owes me about $3,200 total between vet bills, legal fees, and the time I took off work. She is apparently struggling to pay since losing her job. Not my problem. Final update. Well guys, this saga has finally reached its conclusion, and I wanted to give you all a proper ending since so many of you have been following along. Crystal had to pay the full $3,200 plus court costs. Crystal had a payment plan, but the judge ordered it paid within 30 days or face additional jail time. Her parents ended up covering it. And from what I heard, they were not happy about having to bail out their 27-year-old daughter's cat theft consequences. The community service started, and apparently it is going about as well as you would expect. My friend Jake's girlfriend works at the animal shelter and says, Crystal shows up looking miserable every weekend, clearly hating every minute of cleaning kennels and dealing with actual animal care. The staff treats her professionally but coldly. They all know what she did. Best part, she has to wear a volunteer vest that says community service so everyone knows she is not there by choice. The shelter director made sure of that. Lost her job, got evicted from her apartment, couldn't afford rent without income, and moved back in with her parents at 27. The roommate situation with the 3 cats didn't work out because her suddenly developed allergies were so bad she couldn't function. Her dating prospects are still non-existent. Her sister mentioned that Crystal tried several dating apps but kept getting recognized from the memes and news coverage. Apparently, cat thief is not a good look in a city full of pet lovers. Meanwhile, my life has gotten significantly better. Whiskers is completely back to normal, maybe even more social than before. He has been getting spoiled rotten by Mrs. Patricia and her senior center friends, who have basically adopted us both. Mrs. Patricia officially became Whiskers' emergency guardian in case I ever travel again. She has keys to my place and detailed care instructions. More importantly, she adores him, and he loves her back. It is actually beautiful watching them together. Work has been great. That client who specifically requested me after hearing about the situation, she ended up giving us a huge contract renewal and specifically mentioned that she trusts someone who fights for those who cannot fight for themselves. Apparently, corporate loyalty extends to pet loyalty in her book. The local pet community has essentially adopted me as their success story. I get invited to adoption events, fundraisers, and my picture with Whiskers is literally on the wall at 3 different vet clinics, as an example of devoted pet ownership. It is weird, but flattering. Dating is starting to cross my mind again, but the bar is now extremely high. Anyone I date has to pass the Whiskers test, and more importantly, they have to genuinely love animals. No more of this pretending to like cats bullshit. Dr. Martinez says, Whiskers is in perfect health and shows no lasting trauma from the incident. He has gained back all his weight, and then some Mrs. Patricia's treats, and his personality is back to his normal mischievous self. The legal stuff is completely done. Crystal finished paying restitution and starts her jail weekends next month. The conviction stays on her record permanently, which will impact future employment in any animal-related field. I kept all the documentation from this case, in case she ever tries to work with animals again. My lawyer says, I can provide that information to potential employers if asked. Several people have suggested I write a book or do interviews about this, but honestly, I just want to move on with my life. The whole experience taught me that you never really know someone until they think they can get away with hurting something you love. Whiskers and I are doing great. He is currently judging me from his favorite perch on the cat tree, probably wondering why I am typing instead of providing treats. Life is good. To everyone who followed along and offered support, thank you. The pet owner community really came through for us, and it means more than you know. And to anyone else dealing with someone who doesn't respect your pets, pay attention to those red flags. Your animals depend on you to protect them. Don't let anyone convince you they are just pets, because they are not. They are family. Whiskers approves this message. Edit. For everyone asking about pictures, I am keeping Whiskers off social media for his privacy, and mine. But he is a gorgeous orange tabby who knows he is handsome. Edit 2. Yes, I am still single. And yes, loving cats is now a relationship requirement. Lessons learned.